Hey guys, it's Janie. Welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy. It is spook season. Hey, welcome back guys. Welcome to subscribers. Thanks to all of you for your continued support. But it is spook season. It is October. This year has gone by so fast, I can't even believe it. But we are now in my favorite part of the year. I absolutely love fall, I love Halloween. So, I don't have as many decorations. You know, we got a pumpkin here, and then there's one back here. We got a couple things up here, but I've got grandkids now, and they love the decorations just as much. So I decorate throughout the house now instead of in here, because I'm only in here to record or to grab a new book. So, yeah. So sorry about that with the lack of decorations, because I used to really deck it out in here, but I'm not going to do that no more. So anyway, let's talk about what this video is about, and that is my September wrap-up. Let's get started. So the first book that I read in September was A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. Yes, I am behind. Everybody else has probably already read this a year, 2, 3 years ago. But I am just now reading it. I really enjoyed this. I can't really get into it for those of you who have not read it, but let's just say Feyre is really coming into her own. She's taking a few more things into her own hands, and she's really growing well as a character. Now, I was talking to my niece the other day, and we were discussing Sarah J. Maas, and she does TikTok a lot. And she said on TikTok, a lot of people are talking about how they love ACOTAR series over Throne of Glass. And I was like, oh, no. Throne of Glass is going to always be my favorite series by Sarah J. Maas. This is a good series. Don't get it twisted. But Throne of Glass is probably my favorite, and always will be. The characters and the world building and everything else, just it drew me in a little bit faster than what this one did, but still good. Regardless of what series you read, Sarah J. Maas writes with such intensity that you're going to feel something no matter which one you're reading. 4 stars for that. The next book that I picked up was Hunting Evil by Chris Carter. This is book number 10 in the Robert Hunter thriller series. And wow, you guys, this one was fantastic. 5 stars. In this one, Robert is chasing after Lucien. Lucien and Robert were roommates in college, and they became pretty good friends. They both were studying the same, criminal behavior and psychology and that kind of stuff. And Lucien took the wrong path, where Robert took the right path. Well, Lucien escaped, and now Robert is after him, and Lucien wants to play a game. And that outcome decides who is his next victim. So very good story. Once again, just really gets you going. You're really into the middle of things. Love Chris Carter's writing. I'm not going to ramble today, but that was 5 stars. Pick it up. Next book that I picked up in September was Dead Ground by M.W. Craven. I've been talking about this series as well with Washington Poe and his sidekick Tilly. This one, though, just wasn't as good for me. It got a little political in there, but in this one, they find a dead body at a brothel, and it was just beaten with a bat. And this is what Washington Poe and Tilly have to figure out. And people just aren't giving up clues. It's like people are hiding things. So, yeah, I rated this one 3 stars. Like I said, not a favorite, but I really love Washington Poe, and I really love Tilly. I love their dynamic of working together. I think they really blend well. I think there's only one more that I need to read in this series, and it'll be wrapped up. I'm not sure if it's going anywhere else, but we'll see what happens with that. The next book that I read was Stolen Things, and this is by R.H. Herron. This is probably going to be featured in my Thriller Thursday, where I can talk a little bit more about it. But in this book, we're following Lori, who is a dispatcher for 911, and she gets a call from her daughter asking and pleading for help. I couldn't even imagine that happening. Lori does have some skills, and she was a detective for the police department, and that's all I'm going to say. I'll get more into it for my Thriller Thursday, but this one was 4 stars. The next book that I read was The Body Lies by Jo Baker. At first, I did not know what I was reading. First of all, the author does not give her main character a name. So there is a huge disconnect throughout this whole book, trying to understand this character. I think knowing a name, you get on a more personal level with your characters, and there just isn't one. And I couldn't remember what, I just was thinking, why can't I remember what her name was? It's because she was never given one. This lady, she's a writer, and she is tutoring students at this college. And she's tutoring them and giving them more skills with their writing. And they all have to write a short story, and the one that one student writes starts to involve her into the story. And that's pretty much the story. Now, it got good about, there's probably about a quarter of the book left. And it got a little apprehensive, you know. But really, it was just, it would have got 2 stars. I gave it 3 stars because it did pick up in the end. I know that's probably generous. But yeah, very disappointing. The synopsis was fantastic. And I just, yeah. The next book that I read was 3 Dark Thrones by Kendar Blake. Kendar Blake wrote Anna Dressed in Blood. And my husband actually read that, I think that's a trilogy. And I've had this one, I think there's 4 books, and decided to finally read it. I wanted to get away from the thriller mystery for a little bit and get a fantasy in there. Really, really enjoyed this story. In this story, we've got 3, they're triplets, and they are all in line to be crowned as queen. You got Mirabella, Catherine, and Arsenault. And they separated them at 6 years old, and now they have to fight to the death to see who is going to be crowned. And it was really good, and I could never imagine this type of a family dynamic, like where you're wanting to kill your sister because you want the crown. I can't imagine it. I've got 4 sisters, and I just could not place myself into this atmosphere at all. I rated this one 4 stars. And the last book that I read was One Dark Throne, and this one is also by Kendar Blake. This is book number 2 in the 3 Dark Crown series, and this one really stepped it up as well. You really start to see who these girls are and what they are capable of, and that's all I'm going to say, considering that it's a second book. There's 2 more to this series. I don't know if there's going to be anything else, but yeah, this one was a 5-star for me. It was fantastic. Absolutely loved that one. I am giving it a break, though, because now it's spook season, and I will be doing spooky reads. But let me know, guys, if you've read any of these books. Let me know down in the comments below and what your thoughts were on those books. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.